Morning coffee. Yum. This morning I was thinking about some of the groups that are associated with the New Age, or even the word higher consciousness kind of fits into that New Age, spiritual seeker, um, you know, outer space people, like the Applewhite guy, where they all took the Kool-Aid. Well, that was Jim Jones, but the Applewhite people all committed suicide as well. And initially, I think that people get attracted to spiritual. I'm going to adjust this. Looks like, yeah, that's better. To looking for an answer outside of the conventional, which definitely, what I'm talking about is definitely not conventional at all. It's like all those conventional systems let them down, or don't provide a satisfying life after a certain point. Maybe for a while, maybe, football and, going to high school and being on all those clubs and getting the good grades and, just following what you've been told is the smartest path. And, I don't fault anybody that does that. It's like you find yourself in public high school and you don't have that many choices. Either you get with the program, which is, basically being a student and being a good student, or they tell you, they warn you that, your prospects will be dim if you don't. You're either going to be a good student and, become one of the movers and shakers of society, or you're going to be, exploited, basically. You're going to wind up, working the drive-through or working the assembly line somewhere. It's pretty straightforward. No college degree, a dull, mindless, low-paying job. Not necessarily, of course. There are entrepreneurs who are exceptions to that rule, but they're rare. I think I'm a pretty intelligent person. I was on the fast track in high school. If forces hadn't, come together in the way they did, I probably would have been some successful person. Went into some, intelligent, smart line, law, medicine, science. I had the IQ and the grades up to a certain point, up until the point where I was about 16, and then then the world just kind of stopped making sense to me, and I took a turn away from that. I turned away from that into the unknown, I guess you could say. And the unknown is not the most hospitable place to go, but that's where I went, and I kept trying to come back. Once you reach a certain age and you're on your own, it's not so easy to go back to college. It's you have to work your job, and you put in some college hours when you can. And I did that for a while, and the more I did it, the more I kept, there was still this nagging feeling that I really didn't want to do that. I didn't really want to, I wanted to stop blaming myself for my failure at becoming, something that I hadn't really even examined to see whether it was valid or something that was, what I wanted to do or what any, thinking person should want to do. And that, it's a long story, and I'll tell it, or not, depending on interest. So far, I see that there's some views, but no comments. I'm not trying to put pressure on you for comments. I'm just looking for feedback. I disabled the thumbs up, thumbs down because I don't really. It's too easy to thumbs down. There's people that just get the thumb down it's like a joystick for them. It's just something that they can giggle about. And TE. I mean, people with thumbs down, the best of things, just because that's how they get their kicks. So I disabled it for that reason. Thumbs down, thumbs up. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for approval. I'm looking to help, is what it's really about. I'm looking to help people who are maybe perhaps hanging on by their fingernails, and that might be where you need to be in order to listen to somebody like me, because I've definitely been there, and I know that place really well, and I know how I got there, and fortunately I didn't let go, so I know the terrain, and I can help people to understand how they got there, why they got there, why they think it might be their fault, why they might think they want to get back to what drove them there, and some alternatives to that, to going to reintegrating back into the greater society, which really isn't all that great, honestly. But the main theme of this was going to be about the differences between the greater culture and the various alternatives. I would consider the basic religions as part of the greater culture. They're accepted by the greater culture, even though some of them are just as wacky as can be. But the greater, some of these strutting, parading, uber wealthy evangelists, they look totally crazy to me. But they're considered mainstream and acceptable, and you can get all dressed up in your Sunday finest, and people will respect you if people in the corporate workplace or wherever in the greater culture. Christianity, Buddhism, general Islam, the world's major religions. I'm considering that as part of the establishment. And the New Age ones are the Wicca people and the outer, the flying saucer alien believers. And I mean, they don't even really know the alien people who are interested in that. They don't even know, what real life is for a human. Yet they're fascinated by, somebody with, that looks really weird from another planet. It's a distraction, really. You have to understand what a distraction is. Distraction is something that distracts you from coming to grips with the reality that you live in, just in silence, and really facing it head on, not distracting yourself with some hobby or fascination, but to embrace, not to embrace the the confusion. You don't want to embrace confusion, but to embrace the reality. There's, people are confused. Reality is the trees and the flowers and the animals. They're not confused. Embrace nature. Embrace the sky. Embrace the stars. Embrace life. People, people you need to understand and then try to help, because we need help. People need help, and they need helpers, and that's would be how I would see my role, is to before this lifetime ends, which I'm actually maybe older than you think I am, and I'm not that that healthy. And who knows? Maybe another 10 years, maybe not, maybe more. I don't know. But let's just say I'm old. And I actually have an aversion to most New Age stuff. I've worked in the corporate world for a good part of 30 years, and it was good for me. It really, I was one of those New Age wacko birds, when I started, but, having to deal with scientists and engineers on a daily basis, and draftspeople, and, just corporate types, it was good for me in the sense that it made me, really down to earth. And so people that are not down to earth, I don't identify anymore. I identify as, like my former self, a past self. I'm not a corporate person anymore. I never was a corporate person, but it helped that part of me that wasn't in focus. So that's a little more of my personal history. These things take a long time to upload, so I'm gonna stop right here.